That's right. Good morning. We're delighted that you were able to take time out of your busy schedule to be here today with the Alamo colleges so that we can share together the successes our partnerships have yielded with our work with ensuring that our students can transfer smoothly to your institutions. I am Dr. George Raley, Vice Chancellor for Academic Success for the Alamo Colleges, as well as our MC for this morning. Thank you for joining us for our South Central Texas Transfer Compact meeting. I'm humbled to be here today among leaders from the colleges and universities across Texas and part of our collaborative effort to increase efficiency of transfer to our four-year college or university. It's amazing to see everyone here, but before our signing ceremony, we have an exciting announcement we would like to talk about. With us today is Sue McMillan from the Greater Texas Foundation. Sue? Who will be gifting Alamo College a generous grant that will help fund the creation of a student-facing planning tool that will facilitate seamless transfers between the Alamo colleges and our college and university partner institutions. This morning, you will be hearing from our board chair, Roberto Zarte, our chancellor, Dr. Mike Flores, Sue McMillan from the Greater Texas Foundation, Dr. Taylor Amy, president from the University of Texas at San Antonio, and the University of Incarnate Word student, Tara Carl. Thanks again for everyone being here today. Now to kick things off, I'd like to welcome our board chair, Roberto Zarte.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad we survived the storm last night because it was a pretty tough one. But I think it was a precursor to cleaning the air so that we could have a marvelous ceremony this morning. I've been on the board for 20 years, and part of the experience is that now I'm chair this year, and I'm supposed to introduce trustees that are here. They did not attend or not attending this meeting simply because last night we had an incredible event celebrating our college promise program, and so they're pretty worn out or going back to work, and they're pretty happy about that. But today we want to talk about something that's incredible. Like I said, there you go. Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Our presidents are multifunctional. They do all kinds of good stuff. I've been on the board for 20 years, and I remember that I learned early on was that student success was the preemptive goal that we should have in community colleges. And in looking at student success, we looked at what were the obstacles. And I will tell you, one of the biggest obstacles was transfer. Not for us necessarily, but for the four-year institutions. Their completion rates were just not there because the students would lose a lot of the credits and also a lot of the money that was required to complete at the four-year. So, with the leadership of our vice chairman, our vice chairman this year, but he was just a trustee back then, Clint Kingsbury, we started looking at what can we do to eliminate that obstacle, or at least get control of it for our students. And guess what? The board supported what we found out. And Dr. Raley will tell you that we did not have a staff to deal with this, to connect with the four-year institutions. And luckily we do now, and we've had a lot of success with it. But today, the announcement that is going to be made is going to make it even better. And I want to congratulate the Greater Texas Foundation because they have always been a real champion of community colleges. And so I think this is another affirmation of that, so thank you so much. I'm also grateful that this is now called, and I got to read this label, South and Central Texas Transfer Compact. When we first started out, it was called the I-35 Compact. And right now, that's not a really good brand, you know? So I'm glad we're getting back to the essence of this. But again, I want you to have a great experience this morning and see that the impact that this grant is going to have in us extending our assistance to the four-year institutions and enhancing our partnership. It's going to be a great event today. So thank you, Dr. Flores. I think, am I supposed to introduce you or not? Well, our fabulous Chancellor, Dr. Mike Flores.
This is a wonderful morning, and it caps off a fantastic and phenomenal evening. So as Chairman Zarate mentioned, last night we had what's called Mosaico, which is a benefit for Alamo Promise. So it was a record-setting night. As you know, Alamo Promise provides a no-cost, high-quality undergraduate experience for over 20,000 graduating high school seniors in Bexar County. And so I want to thank our colleagues, in particular Bart Simpson and our Alamo Colleges Foundation team. Bart, would you stand so we can recognize you? So I said record-breaking and phenomenal because it's $1.2 million in proceeds directly to Alamo Promise. So I want to thank and congratulate his team. And the whole intent is access and then success. So we know that cost is a barrier, but there's another barrier, which is credit applicability. So Promise last night then transitions us and pivots us to credit applicability. And Chairman Zarate mentioned the beginning of this journey. And so in 2015, the Alamo Colleges, the average Alamo College student would graduate with an associate's degree. And how many credit hours does an associate's degree require? 60. Well, they graduated with 92 hours. So imagine that, 92 hours. And I think many of our colleagues from the university end, right, would call and say, you're sending us students with too many hours. And so Chairman Zarate and his colleagues charged all of us, staff and leadership at Alamo Colleges, to figure out a solution. And really the impetus of the transfer advising guides and being able to move from 92 hours. So we're particularly pleased because the development of the transfer advising guides has allowed us to partner with all of our compact universities, over 20, to be able to ensure that it is a seamless pathway. So the average student now graduates from Alamo Colleges, remember it's 60 hours, right? They graduate with 65.1 hours. And that's compared to a statewide average of 82 hours. So we think that our team has in particular made a significant difference in being able to do that. And I want to thank our folks. So I want to thank Dr. Raley and the academic success team, Associate Vice Chancellor Ruth Dalrymple, Angela Guardian Mendez and her team. And so you're standing, Angela, but if you all can raise your hands if you're standing that are on, and Ruth, would you please stand? So let's give them a round of applause for all of the work that they do on a daily basis to be able to do that. The other significant part is we actually have 10,000 students that are concurrently enrolled within each one of the Alamo colleges and in area universities like the University of Texas at San Antonio or Texas A&M San Antonio. And we have 8,000 students additionally that graduate and then transfer directly to university. So out of 73,000 students, we have 18,000 students that are having a university upper division experience, which is particularly significant. I really want to recognize the efforts of the announcement today, and we want to thank the Greater Texas Foundation and Sue McMillan. Thank you for your support. This is significant today because what we're going to announce, it says I have the sum in my script, so am I able to do that, or do we save it for Sue? So, all right. So a very significant amount of, yes, a very significant amount. I can say it, Sue? Okay. So we're announcing this morning a nearly $500,000 grant, $500,000 grant from the Greater Texas Foundation that will fund our credit mobility project, initially to work with the University of Texas at San Antonio, with the hope that we develop proof of concept and then are able to bring it to scale with all of our compact members. And this is significant because what we're going to do is hardwire and provide a student-facing platform that provides a seamless experience for all of our 73,000 plus students to be able to transfer to UTSA or Texas A&M San Antonio or any of our private university partners like Our Lady of the Lake University or University of the Incarnate Word. We want to make sure that it is seamless for our students to be able to look at degree applicability, because remember that number for those 60 hours, it's now 65 hours, and those are often prerequisites that the student has to take when they go into the major. So as you can see, we've made remarkable progress. This is all a team effort from all of us at the Alamo Colleges District, working with 20 plus university partners and in tandem with partners at Austin Community College. And I also want to recognize Dr. Veronica Garcia, who worked with the academic success team. And I want to recognize our colleagues, our college presidents who are here with us. And so I'm going to ask them to stand, Dr. Garcia, Dr. Bosley, Dr. Loston, Dr. Solis. Let's recognize them. They're supporting our 18,000 students, and I'm going to ask our vice chancellors to stand and our associate vice chancellors, those standing, to raise your hands. Debbie Gaitan, let's give them a round of applause. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Riley. Thank you all for being here this morning. We are particularly thankful for $500,000 in support from the Greater Texas Foundation.
Find my spot here. Thank you, Dr. Flores. Now I'm excited to welcome Dr. Taylor Amy, President, UTSA, to say a few words.
You know, Dr. Raley and I were chatting about this beforehand. I was chatting with Chancellor Flores. I feel like I've been doing this now for a number of years. This is like a second home for me to be here. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And every time I've been here to do this event with the Compact, hello Compact colleagues, it's been a beautiful day. So I don't know what's going on, but Mike, good job. It's a very special day to celebrate what Sue's going to be talking about and what Greater Texas Foundation has done to support our collaborations to enable student success. And this is something that we believe deeply in as an institution. It's a very, very important part of our mission is to really thrive as an exemplar university for advancing student success. I'll share a few facts in a moment that are really powerful, but and before I dive into a fact that I'm most proud of, I want to give a shout out to two of my colleagues. Heather Shipley is my Executive Vice President and Provost, and Tammy Wyatt is my Senior Vice Provost for Student Success, and we have a whole squad of UTSA Roadrunners here to celebrate with the Compact, and so I'm grateful for all of my colleagues who are here. But you know, our collective purpose as institutions of higher education is founded on this premise that we're all born with the same potential but not given the same opportunities, and a higher education degree, a 2 or 4 year degree, is one of the most powerful, transformative things that can happen in a person's life and affect deeply their trajectory. And we all believe that beyond measure and without any doubt whatsoever, that this is our purpose in life, is to have every one of our students realize their potential and opportunity by becoming educated and going off and making the world a better place. So the premise for all of this is perfect. We all believe in it. This is we're preaching to ourselves here in a wonderful way, and I'm so proud of the fact that when I arrived at UTSA 7.5 years ago, we were working really hard on this, and we've continued to dive in on being exemplary around student success. And I can share this fact with you. 10 years ago, the average time to graduation for our first time in college kids was 5.4 years. Today, it's down to 4.3 years. That's a huge difference, especially if you think about what it costs to go to school and the impact of borrowing. And for those that have debt in that population, our average debt upon graduation has gone from $29,000 down to $22,000, something like that. Those are very, very important milestones for our efforts around advancing student success. And this will be obvious to all of you, our umbilical cord of collaboration, participation, engagement between us and our community college partners is very profoundly important. 40% of our undergraduate population are kids who are transferring from two-year programs to our programs, and half of those kids who are coming from community colleges who are transferring to UTSA are ACD kids. So my fellow colleague ACD presidents, thank you for all that you do. Chancellor Flores, thank you for all that you do. This connectivity is so important to who we are as an institution that I feel like I could sit on Mike's leadership team and he could sit on my leadership team, and there would be such cohesion that Mike could be me and I could be Mike. That's a little scary, I know. Actually, I'm looking at my notes now. I should do this more often. It's actually 45% of our undergraduate population is kiddos coming over from transferring from two-year programs. So we've worked really hard over the last 10 years or so to develop programs in partnership with ACD, and they include our signature dual enrollment programs. We have this wonderful transfer advising guide that we implemented in 2014, and since then, UTSA has seen a 37% increase in enrollment from the ACD students, and this just facilitated and made facile the transfer process, which is something that should not ever be a barrier to transfer. We have this wonderful Alamo Promise, Bold Promise, cohesion, and I don't know Heather, how many students have benefited from that are at UTSA now? 3,500? We're getting there. It's been in place for a year now, and we're continuing to so there's 35 this present semester. Good. Between us, though, the Alamo Promise and the Bold Promise are very powerful things that we both need to utilize because the cost of attendance is a bit of a challenge, as you know. We also have our Alamo On Track program, and we have this 3-tier transfer program. And so all of these things are in place to facilitate transferring ACD kids to our Roadrunner community, and we're very, very grateful for this partnership. We're also very grateful that the Greater Texas Foundation believes in us and wants to invest in this enterprise. I think you might be able to say with great earnestness that the relationship that Alamo Colleges has with all of the partner institutions in the compact and all of the work that happens around transfer is exemplary at the national scale. And that's a powerful thing. So together, these strategic partnerships enable us to continue growing student programming opportunities that transform lives and are so important to this trajectory that we want to impact in a powerful way. So thank you, ACD, and thank you, Greater Texas Foundation, for all of this. Let's celebrate. Let's give a huge round of applause for the Greater Texas Foundation, okay? And while we're at it, let's give a round of applause for the compact. Very good. All right. I don't know who's next, Dr. Raley, that's your job, but it's always good to see you. We can't keep meeting like this.
It's fun. It's for a good cause. Thank you, Dr. Amy. And now, I would like to welcome Sue McMillan, President and CEO of Greater Texas Foundation, to announce some more details about the grant.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here on behalf of the board of the Greater Texas Foundation and our team. We are just so pleased to be able to offer this grant. This is a 3-year grant. It's $499,840. I don't know why we didn't do $160 more and just make it $500,000 to begin with. One of our focus funding areas is many of you are familiar with us. We're located in Bryan, Texas. We're a statewide funder. Our entire focus is on funding projects and organizations, schools that are preparing students to access and persist in post-secondary education, whatever that looks like for them. So we do a lot of work with community colleges. We do work with 4 years. We do work with nonprofits. And our focus is totally Texas. We do a lot of work with the Success Center as well. And transfer is one of our 4 focus funding areas. So this project was particularly interesting to us. It's a 3-year grant. There's a lot of things to love about this grant. It's very student-focused, student-friendly. I can remember sitting in some hearings over the years talking with students talking about how perplexing it was to transfer, and issues with financial aid, issues, as Mike has described, with way too many hours that has all sorts of impact. Preaching to the choir here, you all know this. So we were very interested in this, in the fact that it's a very student-friendly portal. It's something that can be scaled, and as a funder, we always want to be able to take really great, new, innovative ideas, be able to provide the funding for those, and then allow them to blossom and fund and be able to be used throughout the state. The other thing I love about this project is the connection to the compact and the ability to scale this even further, just beyond UTSA. It's not often that you see privates 4 years and 2 years working together. So I congratulate the compact for the work that you're doing. We're very excited to see where this is going. We think it's going to be terrific for the state, for the compact, and most importantly for students. So we look forward to seeing what you're going to do with this and how we're going to roll that out, and hopefully it will be able to be scaled at a much larger statewide effort. So thank you both.
Thank you, Sue. I'd like to recognize Elizabeth Mayer, Assistant Commissioner, Academic and Health Affairs, Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. Sue, thank you so much for coming down and joining us today. Later in the program, Sue will be presenting information about HB 8 and the changes that are happening here in Texas with respect to funding of higher education and community colleges. So thank you, Sue, for making a long trek and brave as you are, traveling down Highway 35. I have the honor now of welcoming Tania Carr, a University of Incarnate Word student and former Alamo College's student, up to the podium. And I hope I said your last name right. Oh gosh, thank you. She will give us a few words on her story and how we were able to provide her a seamless pathway to transfer.
Hello everyone, good morning. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you especially to all those who made it possible for me to stand before y'all and share my story. My name is Tanya Carr, and I'm currently a junior at the University of the Incarnate Word. In 2022, I made the decision to graduate 1 year early from high school. And after doing so, I was in a search for college education that didn't come with a ridiculous price tag. So I found Alamo colleges and began my journey of higher education at St. Philip's College. Through the political science program at St. Philip's College, I found another one of my loves, sociology. I took the Intro to Sociology course with Dr. Beatrix Perez in fall of 2023, and it effectively changed the course of my life. I'm so incredibly grateful for her and all that she's done. Through that course, I learned so much about what I desired, but also what my potential impact is on the community around me. And through that, I am now a junior at the University of the Incarnate Word, double majoring in sociology and political science with a concentration in comparative politics and international relations, and a minor in history. A little bit of a mouthful. Thank you. And if it wasn't for my time at Alamo colleges, I would have never found these other subjects and become interested enough to seek out these double major and minor and certifications and all that. So thank you everyone for all of that. And if it wasn't for the wonderful advisors at Alamo colleges and St. Philip's College, I would not have made it as seamlessly as I did. My primary advisor was Christine Sauceda, and I remember vividly our first meeting where she walked me through everything from course registration to looking at transfer agreements and even getting me in contact with the transfer advisors at University of the Incarnate Word. And as a first generation student who quite literally did not know what she was doing, that help was critical for my success. So thank you to her, and thank you to everyone here today who helped me through and helped me make it.
I just asked Tanya, what do you do in your spare time? She says, study. That's so awesome. So thank you, Tanya, for being here in your comments. It's really heartwarming and empowering to hear from our students directly. So thank you. Again, I'd like to thank all of our speakers this morning. And thanks again to everyone who made this announcement possible. At this time, I would like to welcome all the speakers, Sue McMillan from the Greater Texas Foundation, college presidents from the Alamo colleges, Dr. Taylor Amy, and others from UTSA. Ceremony acknowledgement of this important milestone for a check presentation. Thank you, Greater Texas Foundation. We really appreciate your support. So the next step will be for us to begin reaffirming our commitment to each other, that we work together to continue this great work. As I travel around the country, I just got back from California presenting about our work, and excellent reviews and comments, and colleges who want to come to Alamo to find out how we, the Transfer Compact, do what we do. And so it's very powerful. So our signing ceremony will commence here shortly. So we will be transitioning from here into our boardroom here behind me here. There is a signing table at the door where you can sign as you go in, and then we have a big poster like we did a few years back where we would then sign as well by the logo of your university. And so we have this here, and then the MOU is on the inside. So let's commence the process, and then we'll go into the next part of this program. Thank you.